A lower court found those methods of execution to be cruel and unusual, ultimately violating the Constitution. Now, those two words, cruel and unusual, taking center debate. APD confirming 2 victims were transported to an area hospital. Here's what we know. One is a male victim, another is a female victim. We don't have ages on them at this time. Bryce Evans has been missing since July 31st. Since then, there has been no word from the missing pre-med student. However, his cell phone was pinged off a cell phone tower in Cherokee, North Carolina. The aircraft carrying 3 people went down on Camp Catalina, which is in the western part of Transylvania County, and as he mentioned, about 100 campers on site there. That initial call for an active shooter inside here at the license plate agency. However, once those deputies arrived, there was no active shooter. Law enforcement officers still on campus. We know, as you mentioned, 1 student was injured. They were shot, taken to an area hospital. No word on their condition at this hour. We've been monitoring this since about 3 o'clock today. We've been at this location for several hours now, and you can still see there is a lot of power and momentum behind that river. I want to go ahead and bring in Allison Richmond, who's with Haywood County. She's one of the public information officers, and Allison, thanks for doing this. Reminders of Tropical Storm Fred exist a year after the storm came through and devastated Haywood County. Just take a look around and you can see the devastation, still an eyesore. Yeah, you know what? Not a lot of people downtown Asheville tonight. One reason being, pretty cold, especially when that wind hits you. It is freezing outside. But another thing, the snow, you can see on this car already, there's some buildup here, a light dusting throughout a lot of these parking lots here. We're on Page Avenue in downtown Asheville. Restaurants with their doors locked and signs that read closed due to Asheville water line shutdown. I want to show you some of those images of the confiscated or seized items. Take a look in the corner. You can see Rice Krispie treats, Kit Kats, even Reese mini cups down there. We also have a bag of chips in this monitor, and our farthest one, Oreos. Now, at first glance, these items, of course, look like everyday run-of-the-mill products you could find in a store. However, they couldn't be farthest from that. They're actually laced with THC. As Ian makes its way through the Carolinas, all eyes were on the radar and changing track of the storm. College football fans, staff, and students thankful the Clemson Tigers will face off against the NC State Wolfpack Saturday night. Now, we did have a chance to go up earlier to their command site just off of Shaw Branch Road. The fire was about 300 yards from where we were at, and that's where they are currently posted. They're going to be there all night. It was here outside of the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office where fellow men in blue and community members gathered to pay their respects to fallen Sheriff's Deputy Austin Allridge. Outside of the office, you can now see his police unit covered with flowers, candles, and a photo of the 25-year-old.
If you just come in, folks, you put your hand on somebody else.
Emotions remain high.
Grief is the price you pay when you love somebody, and I'm just going to pay it.
That memorial over there only expresses what we think every day about our Sheriff's Department, about our law enforcement.
Deputy Austin Allridge shot Tuesday afternoon while responding to a domestic call.
Sadness. I just wanted to let it be known that the blue is supported in this community, and I just wanted to show my respects.
He died at the hospital that night.
It's just devastating. It's just, you know, he was good and he was trying to protect his community.
Sheriff Chuck Wright still coming to terms as the 25-year-old's car is now a memorial.
Ain't nobody perfect, but I promise you, if I could hire 100 more just like him, I'd do it right now. Because he represented good.
Sheriff Wright told us Deputy Allridge was known for his sense of humor, work ethic, and most importantly, his commitment to serve and protect.
I want him to be remembered as somebody who had a commitment, you know, and a cause. It was bigger than him, it was bigger than me.
The loss not only hitting the sheriff's office, but impacting the community Allridge was protecting.
No, I didn't know him, but it doesn't matter. I feel the pain.
The community support helping those who wear the badge heal.
It is so encouraging to be a part of a community that believes in their law enforcement.
The flags at half staff outside of the sheriff's office, a reminder.
Well, we'll move past it. I mean, he won't never be forgotten, and we won't leave him behind, so to speak, but we'll press forward because that's what he would want us to do.
I'm told this upcoming Friday, it's anticipated a candlelight vigil will be held in honor of Deputy Allridge here at the Sheriff's Office around 8 p.m. In Spartanburg County, Samiar Nefzi, News 13. Jody Reed's daughter was walking to the bus stop when she discovered syringes scattered along the path. So she called Asheville police to come clean them up, but they were unable to do so. So who do you call when something like this happens to you?
We know that hypodermic needle use is something that is still consistently going on in our area. And with that means you're going to probably have needles left at public areas. So it is something that we're continuing to see and we want to take very seriously.
It's full of needles. I'm scared for the kids. I'm scared for somebody to get hurt or somebody to be exposed to some kind of disease.
Jody Reed says for the last 2 to 3 days, the syringes have been scattered around her daughter's bus stop, and she's worried she'll find more.
I think once you see this type of activity in areas, it historically, I've seen, stays in those areas.
I spotted around 10 syringes without caps and the needles exposed. People passing through the area also concerned.
And that is just unacceptable.
9th grader Lake Reed made the discovery and alerted her mother.
It really worries me because there's even younger kids who ride the bus here and catch the bus in the morning, and I don't want them to have to learn about that kind of stuff at such a young age.
I reached out to the Asheville Police Department to find out who's responsible for cleaning up sites like this. A spokesperson says they will help when they can, but due to staffing shortages, calls for improperly disposed syringes are not a high priority.
But the reality is, you're talking about when you have this type of call versus a 911 call where somebody's got an emergency, we know what we're going to have to do, unfortunately. But the good thing is we do have a couple of resources that are available.
One of those resources, the North Carolina AIDS Project. Raymond Velasquez with WinCap.
Yeah, we get calls pretty often, usually probably a couple times a week. And I think if we did have increased amount of proper syringe disposal areas, I think it would definitely be able to help prevent as much syringe litter there as there is.
So if you happen to come across a situation like this, your best bet is to call WinCap or Steady Collective. In Asheville, Samiar Nefzi, News 13. The upstate community is mourning the loss of 4-year-old Joanna Luckabee after her 17-year-old half-brother, William Hester, was accused of leaving her in a bin to suffocate. Hester is now behind bars and charged with murder and kidnapping. It's a call that started out as a report for a missing child, ending in tragedy.
That kind of just blows my mind. I wouldn't think nothing like that would happen.
On Tuesday, the Greenville County Sheriff's Office found the body of little Joanna Luckabee a short distance away from her home.
We were able to locate a plastic bin in a wooded area behind that residence, and tragically and unfortunately, we located the body of that sweet little 4-year-old girl inside.
Investigators say William Hester, her half-brother, is responsible for trapping her inside the plastic bin that would become an inescapable airless tomb.
It's absolutely tragic. I mean, our thoughts and prayers really go out to the family of little Joanna and them having to cope and just try to have some reasoning in their head and try to figure out exactly what led up to this. You know, how does this happen? And unfortunately, there's no answer for this.
The 17-year-old is charged with her murder and kidnapping for placing her inside the bin without a possible escape.
She loved to come out and do things with her family. She's the sweetest little girl you'll ever meet.
Neighbor Lisa Steele tells News 13 she's known the family for 2 years.
She loved her daddy. She loved her mama too, and Jamie really loved that little girl. He was her world. It's just unbelievable and heartbreaking. I've known Jamie for years, and he was at work during all this, and he's done lost one baby.
News 13 has confirmed through the Greenville County Coroner's Office, Joanna Luckabee is the younger sister of Joe Luckabee, the 18-month-old who died in a hot car in 2018. His grandmother was charged after investigators say she left him inside a vehicle.
No child should be left like that.
As investigators work to figure out exactly what happened, a motive is still unknown. In Greenville, Samiar Nefzi, News 13.